In London,
Yes, sir.
would you be kind enough to open this up tonight? Gonna go ahead and get started. Thank you, sir.
Welcome.
We'll go ahead and officially call this meeting to order. We'll go ahead with the roll call. Councilman London,
Present.
Councilman Box, Councilman Sims, and myself present as well. All right, we have one item on our agenda tonight, so we'll commence with the deliberation. We've all received the material. Councilman London, do you have any questions about this program?
No question. I just had a conversation with the mayor.
Okay. Councilman Box? Okay. Councilman Sims? Okay. And I do not have any questions. Mayor, would you like to say anything about this resolution, or?
Yes, I would just like to say what made me present this resolution for the council to consider tonight. On last week, we received a challenge from the Alabama Health Department for mayors to get involved and to see what we can do to be able to increase the vaccination rates in the state of Alabama. I'll just read you a little excerpt from one of the letters that they sent to us. They says, as of the 1st of August, the average vaccination rate in Alabama was just 34%, the lowest in the country. The Delta strain is spreading quickly, so we need to act fast. We're urging you to take this challenge and to contact your counterparts in other cities and ask them to be able to do the same. The Alabama Mayor's Challenge aims to increase the local rate of vaccinated people by 20% by September 6, 2021, 20% more with their first shot. As soon as it came out, I actually went to the website and I signed on as one of the mayors that wanted to participate in the challenge. I began to do research around the country to see what other states and what other municipalities were doing. The city of Gadsden actually was the first city in the state to be able to have a program in place, and it's called Vaccinate Gadsden. And they're doing something similar by giving individuals a monetary incentive to be able to get vaccinated. I began to think about how can we do things here in the city of Irondale, and as I was coming from the Main Street Conference, coming to our city council meeting on last Wednesday and having a conversation with our city attorney, Ms. Danielson, I came up with, since we were given $1.53 million to be able to use for certain items dealing with COVID, I mean, the reason that we received the money is because of what is going on. And one of the things that they did encourage us to do is to be able to educate or to help to work towards helping to get more people vaccinated in our state. So only thing that I'm trying to do is to do my part as a mayor to be able to put this information out and to come up with something that I think that would be helpful, not only getting our employees vaccinated here, but also creating an opportunity for citizens that live here to be able to do the same thing.
Gotcha. Thank you, sir. That being said, since we have no questions at this time, and the mayor has given the explanation for the item, I would accept a motion to approve the agenda.
I make a motion that the agenda be approved as is.
All right, we have a motion. Can we have a second? We have a second by Councilman Box. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay. That being said, let's go ahead and move into the new business. I'd accept a motion for Resolution 2021-92 that establishes and authorizes expenditures of coronavirus state and local fiscal recovery funds on a vaccine incentive program. May I have a motion?
Are we not gonna have public comments on the agenda?
You know, it wasn't on the agenda, so I just went right past it. Okay. There was public comments on, to the council for, at the end, but it wasn't on there. And again, I guess it's a special called council meeting, but to stick with precedent, I believe that would be a fair speed bump to go ahead and stop for that. So thank you for catching me on that. That being said, I would accept comments on agenda items only at this time.
My name's Michael M. Markowitz. I'm a pharmacist associated with UAB. I've been a pharmacist for decades. In my dealings with the public and with colleagues who are highly educated. The good news is, those of us who have bought into the vaccine, we understand the risks and the benefits, and we've weighed out the issues, and we see that there is much more benefit than risk. There is a large number of people, as you know, here in the Birmingham area who haven't bought into it. And me talking to these folks, there are a lot of reasons, but two primary reasons. Number one, and the younger group of people I've talked to, they don't care. They're risk takers. They have a whole different mindset. We all have children. We understand. They have a different mindset. In the 20s and 30s, they're growing out of it, but they're not getting the message. This is not a money barrier. This is a messaging barrier. And we've got to think outside the box, figure out how to communicate with these young people. In terms of adults, fully mature adults, the last numbers I saw, the vast majority of folks over 65 have been vaccinated. So we've got a group less than 65 that are not vaccinated because this thing has been so highly politicized by our government leaders. Getting the Irondale government involved and paying for a vaccine is not the solution. It may propagate additional mistrust. So once again, we've got to get information out to people. And those of us in the medical community, we're on top of this. We listen to the news. We listen to our colleagues. People aren't listening. They're not listening. So there's got to be a way to educate. And I think it would be nice for Irondale, Mayor, I think it would be nice for Irondale to engage with this group in a way that it hasn't been engaged yet. Could we set up some educational sessions with folks from UAB? I mean, we've got infectious disease doctors who are willing to step out and message more than they're already messaging. I mean,
I'm going to stop you for just a moment because
Sure.
you've exceeded your 2 minutes and everything like that. It sounds like you've got maybe a dialogue potential with the mayor for a
Yes,
later time.
I just wanted to say that every Tuesday at 2 o'clock, I'm on a conference call with the Jefferson County Health Department that have all of the experts from UAB that deal with it, from pediatrics all the way up to adults. And I sit there for a whole hour and I go through, listen to their presentation about the numbers, what's going on, what we can do to be able to educate people. So I just wanted to let you know this is not something that haphazardly that I just thought of, and I haven't consulted with other individuals that know more about the virus than what I know about the virus. But we have these conference calls on a weekly basis to educate us about what's going on. And like I said, what you're saying, I have no problem with that. We can still set up the education if you want to be a part of it and help us to be able to do that. Since that's your background, we would love to have you to be a part to help to be able to show us how we could do it. to be able to do it more effectively and to be able to get the message out. However, I don't think that negates what we're trying to do here tonight. I think we can do both of those things at the same time. It's not an either or, but how can we sit down and combine your knowledge with the knowledge that we receive on Tuesdays and to see how we can put together a comprehensive plan to be able to reach the citizens in Irondale?
My issue is paying to get vaccinated is unethical.
Ma'am, you've
It's the
exceeded your
wrong
time, and your
pathway.
comments
It's
are
the wrong
noted.
pathway. The government should not
Your
be
comments
paying.
are noted. You've
Okay.
exceeded your time. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other comments on agenda items only?
That's the reason I came to the meeting.
Okay.
Sandy Lauriello, I live on Bell Ridge Trail. To
Did
me,
you
it
get
sounds
that?
like-
One moment, Sam.
All right,
Did you get that, Lou?
you'll probably have to spell my name. Lauriello. When I saw that.
And your address, ma'am?
5732 Bell Ridge Trail.
Thank you. In 2 minutes again.
That's fine. When I saw $200, to me, it's like bribery. People know by now if they want to get that shot or if they don't want to get that shot. People are more informed, I think, than they've ever been about the medical stuff and the government stuff. But I think it's absolutely wrong to pay people, just like the ones giving donuts, lottery. Why are we doing things like this? But, it's up to you guys, but I think it's totally wrong.
Well, I just wanted to mention, do you know that people get paid to give blood? People get paid to give plasma? So this is nothing new. This is not like this is the first
But
time
not for
that
this
people.
vaccine that's so
Well,
controversial.
do you mind if I
Yeah,
have a
that's
chance to
fine.
be able to finish mine? Because I didn't interrupt you when you were giving your reason for why you believe what you believe. The only thing that I'm saying is everybody's trying to make like this is the first time that people have been paid to be able to do something like this. But you can go to the plasma bank and get paid to give plasma. You can go to the blood bank to be able to get paid to be able to do that. So what makes this so different than being able to do those two things and encouraging or giving people an incentive to be able to get vaccinated? And if people don't believe it, just because the money's out there, it's not going to make them do it. That just means that the city will still have the money, because we're not forcing anybody to come down here and to be able to do it. But if they do it, they will be rewarded. So I also wanted to let everybody know we're not forcing anybody to do anything. You still have a choice to decide, and if you feel so strongly about it, then $200 shouldn't shake your opinion one way or the other
Well, it will.
to being able to do it.
A lot of people are struggling right now, and they'll do a lot of things for $200. And we all know that. I mean, the country's really suffering. A lot of people out of work and everything.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Any other comments on agenda items?
I'm Becky Galletley, 3580 Bermuda Drive.
You get that? Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. I am not in favor of paying either, but if the city feels so strongly about paying, I would suggest a couple of alternatives. One would be reduce the number from $200 to, say, $50. Or whatever the amount is, I think it should be given in some kind of a voucher to an Irondale restaurant or an Irondale business, because we have too many people in Irondale, small businesses, that are struggling to find workers and all kinds of things. And I just feel like we need to keep it in Irondale if we're going to give money to people to incentivize them. But I do agree. I'm not of the premise that people should be incentivized to get the vaccine. It's been approved by the FDA, and if that's their problem, then that problem has been removed.
Thank you, ma'am. Any other comments on agenda items?
Council President, do you mind that I answer that?
Sure,
while my
absolutely.
husband's coming
Absolutely.
to the forefront. You mentioned that you wanted us to be able to keep the money in the city of Irondale. Well, on tomorrow at 11 o'clock, we are having a workshop for small businesses in the city of Irondale to discuss with them how the city can provide them with a financial grant to help them to get through the COVID season and to have a to receive finances or receive money from the city as a grant to be able to help them make it through the COVID season or to reward them for whatever financial hardship they have already encountered. So we are doing something for the businesses to be able to provide them with finances to be able to help them deal with COVID. And today we had a workshop for individuals who have not been able to pay their rent and have not been able to pay their utilities. So we met today to come up with a way to be able to help individuals that have not been able to pay their rent and utilities. We are looking to go back 3 months to be able to help people that have had in hardship during that time to provide finances for them as well. So I just wanted to let you know when you made the statement, how can we keep the money in the community? We're already working to keep the money in the community and to provide grants to businesses and individuals that have had financial hardships during the COVID season.
Thank you, but I do think this would be one other way to keep that money in Irondale also.
Thank you, ma'am. Noted. Yes, sir.
Thank you. Colin Galletley, 3580 Bermuda Drive. Thank you. I had several things, but since I only have 2 minutes, I don't want to make sure I get this one item in particular. In addition, also, as was mentioned earlier, additional things that can be done. You mentioned about every Tuesday, I think you listen to and receive a lot of information, but I think dissemination of that information to the Irondale residents, whether it be in your newsletter or as a supplement to the water bill. Of course, not everyone in Irondale is on Irondale Water, but that would, I'm not sure what percentage that is, but that would help. But that information, and when I was looking up some information today, statistics on the state of Alabama, and I was a little bit surprised too. Over 2 million people, adults in Alabama, have had the vaccine. And there have been 12,000, I'm not sure what the exact number is, who have died from the virus over a year now. Only 26, I think, had the vaccination out of 12,000 people, only 26. You figured over 2 million had the vaccination, and only 26 of them, were exposed and died. But I think that those kind of statistics will show people and tell people, educate them, having it in front of them. I mean, we get bombarded with information all the time with all the social media and the news and whatever, but something very specific like that, I think, from Irondale to Irondale citizens would be very beneficial. Okay. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, sir. Any other comments from the virtual side? Okay.
I have one comment from Sharon Graham. Will this money be handed out after proof of both shots or both shots of the vaccine? I believe 200 is too much.
It would be after receiving both shots.
Okay, so after receiving both shots. What if Donna Pike?
Or, I'm sorry, Josh, or the one from Johnson & Johnson.
Okay, so both from the other or one from Johnson & Johnson. Donna Pike, what if someone dies from the vaccine that the city paid them to take? Is there any liability?
That was going to be my question.
This is not the platform for me to answer that question at this time.
Okay.
I understand this is still a voluntary program.
Yes, it's voluntary.
Voluntary. Okay. That being said, we've accepted all comments possible from agenda items only. We started off with a motion. We would go ahead and, we've already done our deliberation. We started off with a motion. We accepted comments from people regarding the agenda items. I would go ahead and like to re-ask for that same motion.
So there's no more discussion at this point that we can bring up.
We did the deliberation
Okay,
already.
very good.
I would accept a motion.
Motion that 2021-92 be moved.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. All right. That being said, normally we would accept any public comments on non-agenda items at this time. Does anyone need to speak to the council about anything non-agenda related? Everyone said yes. No comments on non-agenda items to the council. That being said, I would take a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you very much.